No, we are almost exactly in schedule. So the next thing, or final thing, would be in a different room in the studio.
Kaikki oli mahdotonta ja sydämet oli ehjiä. Mut me ei olla enää lapsia, tai ikuisesti nuoria, kunnes enää ei tahtoisi sut takaisin kaupunkiin.
Please ask me if there's something you want to know and stuff, because there's such a short time and such a wide subject, so please do ask. But yeah, I thought I'd sort of show you the plugins I've used and compare like how it sounds now to what it sounded before the mixing, before all the plugins, and sort of show what the song has eaten. But yeah, here's for example the drums. There's a lot of plugins, a lot of like distortion on the drums, for example. on the overheads. These are the overheads, yeah. And I've sort of used the distortion just to add some edge to it and sort of compress it a bit. So yeah, it gives it a little space. And the same thing with ambiances and what else? Oh yes, there's it's sort of what's it called? Parallel compression. So there's the kit, and it's very compressed and distorted. So this is how it sounds without the plugins. And then there's all kinds of shit. And it adds like punch to it. And when you mix it with the other drum tracks, it's just sort of adds attack to it. So yeah, well, I'll just show you the drums without any plugins, just to compare it. This is how it's. This is how it sounded when it was recorded. And then there's a lot of EQing and a lot of compression and distortion.
How was the drum kit recorded?
Sorry?
How was the drum kit recorded?
It was recorded like a basic rock or pop miking, so like individual drums with individual mics.
Okay. 2 overheads.
Yeah, 2 overheads.
1 room.
I think there's a stereo ambience. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. Could you sort of give an example of just one track and go through the plugins and tell why did you use that particular plugin for that
All right.
particular track?
What track did they do it?
Well,
You mean on
basically
drums or-
overhead maybe, because that's kind of obscure to use
Yeah.
distortion and overhead. So.
Or snare drum?
Yeah. Well, here's the overhead plugins. There's not like a lot of plugins here. This is without the plugins. And there's just a compressor, a mild compression, just to add like make it more like rock, like compressed rock sound. And then there's just a bit of distortion again, just to make it like punchy.
Just a basic saturation plugin.
Sorry.
What kind of distortion plugin is it?
It's red
Oh yeah, it's oh yeah, it's right there. Sorry. It's Soft2 saturation knob. It's brilliant. It's free.
Okay.
It's just one knob and distortion.
Yeah.
my absolute favorite plugin.
Mac plugin.
And yeah, the compressor was this Soft2 fat compressor.
Is it free also?
No, this is I think like 200 euros or something.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a very good compressor. Yeah. And then there's EQ a bit of yeah. That's the overhead, and well, I can show you the snare. Snare also. Yeah, because it's not much here either. There's a gate, and wow, the fuck. I guess I've added bass to the snare just to make it. Yeah.
Good choice.
To make it, yeah. Because the snare itself sounded like this. It's like a really like high,
Small.
yeah, small and high sound. So
Is it only one mic on? No bottom mic.
no, yeah, there's a bottom mic also, yeah. It's just yeah. And then in addition to that, there's a triggered like a sample, which is it's really like quiet in the mix. So here's the whole set. And this is without the sample. And this is with the sample. This is adds just a little bit punch to that attack.
Would you repeat what you said? You triggered a sample, so that means that you had a snare drum sample.
Yeah. So there's just like one snare hit, single sample, and it's always the same.
And it just automatically comes in.
Yeah, it comes like on every snare.
How do you keep track of all what you're adding, and how do you remember what you've done? Is it all?
I don't.
But it sounds like
I just mess around and sort of.
Do you sometimes have the feeling that when you add some plugins or effects that at some stage it doesn't improve the sound rather than
Yeah,
it gets
definitely.
worse, so you get sort of ear fatigue?
Yeah.
How do you cope with that situation?
That's a good question. I don't know. I just keep messing around, sort of. And
Do you keep adding more or
no
taking away?
If it goes like, if I add too many plugins, then I might just sort of take them all away or bypass them and listen to the actual sound and like think again.
When you sleep a night over and then come back to
Yeah.
your tracks and you find maybe too much echo, too much everything, plugins,
Yeah.
and then revealed.
Yeah, and it also helps like if I'm mixing like drums and messing with the snare drum, then I just sort of for a while focus on like guitars or something, and after that, sort of with the new ears, listen to the drums. Did you have
Have you tried remixing it again from scratch that you compared earlier?
well, no, not this track.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because some do that as well.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think that was a good word you mentioned, improving the sound, because I don't think we are actually destroying the sound here for some reason. Because then it just sounds better to us because it's destroyed. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
But it's also a matter of opinion, of subjective preference.
Yeah.
And I have to admit that I'm a bit allergic to distortion, so I get reactions. But that's just my background because I work mostly in the record classical music, and the sort of you hate distortion. You have to get maximum sort of amount of expression, tonal expression from tonalism. I didn't say tonal.
Natural expression.
And not even not tonic.
Yeah, but it depends really like on the music, because when you're mixing like rock music, then you sort of when you're recording in a studio like this, and it's sort of very clean, and you mic every drum with a different mic, and it sort of sounds like too clean.
Yeah, maybe you can put this recording of the drums and we listen to it totally clean.
Sure.
Because it doesn't sound like what you hear with your ears, like in actual performance of drum. So that's already some kind of distortion, if you think about it.
Yes, it's true.
And then his job is to try to imitate actually how you would have heard it. So it is a distortion, or what did you say, deconstruction, or of the original samples that he recorded. But it's all in the favor of making it sound actually to our ears in a more organic actually, and more real somehow. Of course.
Absolutely. Because if you go to a really loud rock concert, for instance, your ears start to distort. So even if the sound itself is clean,
and it's sort of nowadays, a part of this is like, is it emulation or what is it? But if you compare it to like old rock records, then which are recorded on tape, and the tape is like saturating the whole thing in every track, then it's sort of emulating that digitally.
Shitty sound.
Yeah, the shitty is pretty. That's what they say.
That's exactly.
And also one point, I think people love distortion. If you take a bow, it's a
At least
Me as well.
For instance, violin and electric guitar, there's a lot of similarities, and snare drum, the snares, they make a distortion to people. And I think every kid has put to the bicycle little cartoon. You know. Yeah, people just love distortion.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
But I had the whole project without any plugins. I could play it for you. It's really different. Without any plugins, it's sort of sounds cheap and like not like real, not like a band playing. It sounds
not alive.
And is this trial and error as you go through adding these things, or do you learn what this is going? You know, you have a sound picture in your head, and you know how to achieve that. Is that the way it works?
Well, yeah, sort of. Or I have like an idea what I want to do, and then I just sort of start messing around, try to get that sound.
That's it.
Yeah. What else could I show you?
Can I just ask about the mixing process?
Yeah, sure.
Are you doing a live mix, or are you?
No, it's all on Pro Tools. Yeah.
Do you have any sort of reference records of other artists that you use as a sort of reference to the balance?
Usually, yeah.
So which ones, for instance, for this particular
this one? That's tough. I don't know. And this one, but sometimes, or like most of the times, when I'm starting to make a song or record a song, then I sort of have like references, but they're usually like really specific things, like a snare sound from a record. I just try to get that sound, and never do. always fails.
Meidän läpä alkaa olla sitten vain aukkoa.
Aha. The time is out. No. Shit.
One thing that could have been probably, for example, the saturation plugin. Everyone probably, or there can be some people that doesn't know what it even does. You just turn the saturation higher and higher.
Yeah, thanks, because I don't really know what saturation means.
Do you have? Does the Pro Tools show you the pre-processed waveform and the post-processed waveform?
No, I don't think so. No.
You just put it in the input, you see a little.
Yeah.
Well, you try to hear it.
Well, which track do you want? Could it be the overheads again?
Do you have saturation on guitars?
Yeah, sure.
You can turn probably on that. Perhaps.
Well, there's all kinds of things on my guitars. Usually, there's here's the electric guitars, but these are the electric guitars. These are just the distortion is like from pedals and amplifier. So it's not plugins. But then I use also, for example, on acoustic guitars, I usually for some reason, I don't know why, but I just use distortion. I just like the sound of it, like this. There's my distortion on this one, and this one is a little more distorted. And if you listen to it like this, then of course it sounds crappy.
Can you crank it up a little bit, the distortion?
Sorry?
Can you crank up the distortion?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
4
sure.
to 11 or 12 if you have. That's where I usually work.
Here's the saturation plugin. It's 0. Well, it's distortion. It's sort of the same thing, but then technically it's I think it's like harmonics.
What was the question?
Saturation.
How do you define saturation?
Good question. Well, mostly it's harmonic distortion. You add overtones, harmonic overtones to the. But in some cases that might also involve inharmonic components, depending on the type of distortion. But the traditional sort of tube-like, which that refers to mainly produces low-order harmonics, octave and fifth, 2 octaves, and etc.
So it kind of thickens
thickens
the sound.
Right, I'm very sorry, but
I
need
to. Can I crank it? Just crank it up.
Of
just
course.
a little bit more.
One real black.
Music. Drag towards the wall.
That's good.
Hypersensitivity.
And especially distortion. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. All right. Sorry, folks. Only 2.5 minutes of sort of a wrap-up talk. So sit down. Please. Oh, I'm starting to sound British. I said please.
No, that's not British. That's not the part of Britain I live in.
Oh, oh really?
Way to sit down. Right.
All right.